So I know that you have some idea of why we're here. Again, I apologize that it was the whole SWAT team and everything like that this morning. Because of what we're talking about and because we think that you may be able to provide us some information or some evidence, I do have to read you your rights.
Okay. I'm reading rights, that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm going to read this out loud and then I'll hand it to you so that you can look at it as well, okay?
Okay.
So, advisement of rights. Before the question and making of any statement, I'm going to advise you of your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Any statement that you do make can be used as evidence against you in a court of law. And the rest of that one here is if you're under 18, which you're not.
Yeah.
You have the right this time to talk to an attorney of your choice and to have your attorney present before and during questioning and the making of any statement. If you cannot afford an attorney, you are entitled to have one appointed for you without cost to you and to have the attorney present at any time during any questioning and the making of any statement. You may stop answering questions or ask for an attorney at any time during any questioning and the making of any statement. Do you understand each of the rights I've explained to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what I'll have you do is next to the question, write your answer and initial it for me. And then having been made fully aware of these rights, do you voluntarily wish to answer questions now?
Yes.
Okay, same thing. And then I will have you also throw a signature on this line here.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. So I'm going to let you kind of start and walk me through why you think that we showed up at your house today.
Well, from what I understand, from what the SWAT team's member told me, that I was issued a warrant for my arrest.
Yeah. Do you have any idea what it's about?
The only thing that I can think about is we have a Discord server, me and one of my friends from high school.
Okay.
We had a member on there try to plot out a murder.
Okay. So you're on obviously the right track. That is why we're here. That's what we want to talk to you about. So I know a little bit about the Discord server and stuff like that, but kind of walk me through like what it is, who your friend is, who was plotting the murder, all of that stuff if you can. Kind of just start at the beginning wherever that is for you.
So me and my friend Spencer, we run a non-violent Discord server for a kind of protest server.
Okay.
For human rights, I guess. I'm just an admin to keep stuff clean.
Mm-hmm.
We had a member, his Discord handle was Aja.
Okay.
AZJH, I think.
Uh-huh.
That was on our Discord server who wanted, he was trying to get his grandparents murdered, I think, to take over their house.
Okay.
We explained to him multiple times that we do not accept that type of stuff on our servers.
Uh-huh.
Through through voice calls, various stuff like that, through Discord.
Uh-huh.
About
You're good. It's already up to 17 here.
You're fine. I'm thinking about dates because I just had my kid on the 22nd.
And I can pull up a calendar if you need to look at a calendar.
I think the 18th, the 17th or the 18th is when we blocked him.
So the 17th is a Sunday and the 18th is a Monday.
Is the 15th.
The 15th?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 15th is that Friday prior?
Yes.
Okay. So on May 15th, you guys blocked him from Discord. And before you keep telling me about that real quick, you gave me, so the other guy's handle on Discord was Aja.
Yes.
Do you know what his name is or do you know him in real life?
I don't.
Okay, have you ever met him?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Any idea what his name is?
All I know is he goes by Aja.
Okay. Any idea where he lives? Anything like that?
I think he said Vaughn.
Okay. So Aja, who you've never met in real life, was on the server, and then you mentioned Spencer. What was his name on the server?
Lone Seeker 777.
Okay. And then what was your name on the server?
The name is Grim.
The name is Grim. Can you spell it for me?
Capital T, H-E, capital N-A-M-E, capital I-S, capital G-R-I-M.
Capital G-R-I-M. The name is Grim. Okay. So you, Spencer, and Aja are on this server, and you said Aja is making a plan to kill his grandparents to take over their house.
Yes.
When did that... Well, how did Aja even get onto this Discord server?
From what I understand, we went to high school with, I think, his fiance.
And who's we?
Me and Spencer, we all went to the same high school.
Okay. And you mentioned in the car earlier that you had gone to Fife High School? Okay. So you and Spencer went to Fife High School with Aja's either wife or fiance?
I think so.
And do you know who she is at all?
Off the top of my head, I don't know right now, because I didn't try and keep very much into the server because I didn't want anything to deal with it. I was just, like I said, clean up. But from what I remember, that Spencer had told me on various occasions that we didn't know if he was mentally stable or what.
Okay.
I mean, I've come across weird people.
Sure.
But he claims to be a 3,500-year-old ghost. I don't know.
So a different level of weird going
Yeah.
on there. Okay. And so are you and Spencer then friends in like real life?
Yes.
I know you went to high school together, but do you guys still like hang out or talk or okay. And so you how else do you talk to Spencer? So you use Discord, but like what other kind of communication with him?
Texting. It's mainly Discord.
Mainly Discord, but text just like phone to phone, not Facebook Messenger or anything like that? Okay.
Well, no, I use Facebook Messenger too.
Facebook Messenger as well as just straight text?
Yeah.
Text to text, okay. So you said a couple of things that I want more details on. I'll start with this part. You said that on the 15th you guys blocked him from Discord.
We blocked him from everything.
From everything. So did you have any other method of communication with him?
I found him on Facebook and promptly blocked him.
Okay. Had you communicated with him on Facebook at all?
No, he had the only reason I knew it was the same was because he had the same, profile picture.
Okay. So you block him you never talked to him on Facebook Messenger, but you find him on Facebook, block him there, block him on Discord. Why? Like what happened that was kind of the catalyst for blocking him that day?
It was mainly Spencer's decision. Because he was becoming a disruption with our online community. Because of the way our rules are set in our own online community, we promptly removed him. We didn't know what was going to go on. Because apparently it's gone on.
So you've heard.
Well, from what I can put together from me being in this room.
Sure.
Something's happened.
Yeah, obviously that's why we're here talking to you.
Has anybody told you about anything at all happening? Or are you just assuming?
I'm assuming. This is full assumption because otherwise I wouldn't have been woken up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. So you talked about the server and that it was like a human rights thing and that you have specific like rules and stuff like that. Can you kind of explain to me like what it is? Like what's the ideals or what?
So our Riptide server is based on the fact of...
I'm sorry, your what server?
Riptide. The server's name is Riptide.
Okay.
It's entirely based on the fact of getting everybody to work together again as a common human team, not being forced into social norms, social hierarchy, stuff like that. Going back to the basics, being able to build everybody's community up and be a team.
So kind of like some communal living ideals
Yes.
and stuff like that. And who started this? Like whose idea was it, or who started the Discord server?
Spencer.
Okay. How long ago?
Two months ago.
About 2 months ago. And then you mentioned that like you're at admin for it, but at least when you mentioned it, it didn't seem to me like you were quite buying into the whole thing, or.
Because I've been friends with Spencer a long time, he's not very sociable to other people because he's got social skills issues, stuff like that. We didn't get along in middle school, so once we got along, started getting along in high school, me and him clicked, became very best friends. He's basically my brother. I kind of stick around only to help him out with things. A lot of his ideals I don't look at. I look at it being either stupid or not feasible.
Okay, so the stuff that he's talking about with like, this communal living and stuff like that, you're not so much into that. You're into Spencer's my friend, and
Yeah.
I want to.
I got other things to keep on my mind. I have a kid.
Sure. Okay. So getting back to the 15th, you said that Aja had broken some of the rules or wasn't following the rules. What exactly happened? What did he do?
So our rules state that we are a non-violent organization.
Mm-hmm.
We do not permit any violent acts, violent actions.
Okay.
And when he started talking about taking out his grandparents, I believe, we didn't know what was going to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we didn't know how stable he was. Other than that, it was probably kick him.
Okay. So you mentioned there was a plan to kill his grandparents and so that he could take over the house. When did he start talking about those plans?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know where it actually came up. I never kept a record of anything.
Was it like the first time you heard about it was on that Friday the 15th, or he had been kind of mentioning it before that?
It was kind of before that, within the coming weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
What were those plans? What was he saying?
From what I understand, I don't know whether his grandparents were abusive or not, or if they were socially or mentally abusive, or what. He acted like they were abusive to him. But that he was trying to look for help to kill them. From what I understood.
Was anybody offering to help?
Nobody on our Discord server. From what I understand, he didn't talk to our other Discord members. A lot of our Discord members don't normally come on to our Discord server very often.
How many other, and so I kind of understand a little bit about Discord. When he's talking about these plans, is it a whole group of people that he's talking to? Like if, let's say, instead of being on the server, we're in the same room, is it just like you and Spencer that he's saying it to, or is it you and Spencer and like 6 other people in the same room?
So the way that Discord works is it's kind of like a chatter, okay? The way that we have it set up is it's kind of like an office room. So we have multiple conference rooms for it. And each conference room has specific people that are able to go into it.
Okay.
So we have a specific one for only admins. We have a specific one for lower members. We have a specific one for various people who work either in construction or stuff like that have certain skills.
Yep. So basically, it's like a meeting
Yeah.
And not everybody's invited to the same meeting.
Yeah.
Because not everybody has the same need to know whatever of the
Yes.
meeting, et cetera, et cetera. So like, we'll just call it the planning to kill meeting. Who was he in that, or I guess who was in that meeting, if you remember?
Most of the time it was mostly me and Spencer. And
Okay.
we were always trying to tell him either to stop or get some help or that we would kick him.
Did you ever get like a private message or something from another member to say, hey, this dude is reaching out to me and he's trying to recruit me or get me involved? Did anybody ever tell you that at all?
Not me.
Okay. Would you know if Spencer got that at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
You said that usually it was just you and Spencer that he was saying this stuff to. Do you know anyone else that he would have said this kind of stuff to, either their real names or their Discord names?
Not that I know of.
Okay. And
I don't talk to a lot of people on the server.
Gotcha.
So what was his plan that he's discussing? How did he want to go about doing it?
From what I understand, he was trying to remove them from the picture and then kind of pretend to be them for a while, and then have them, from what he told us, disappear. And I don't know.
Did he say how he was going to make them disappear?
No.
Okay, just that they were going to be disappear.
What made you know that his plan was to murder them or to kill them? Did he say that?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember anything specifically that he said?
Like, if pretend that you're him and I'm you in this meeting room. Obviously, it's online. It's just pretend you're him and say it.
Multiple times he'd come into the server because me and Spencer always play various PC games together. And he'd jump on the server and be like, I'm done with this. I want them gone.
Did he use the word like murder or kill?
He didn't use those words, but he used roundabout words. Remove them. Get rid of them.
So you knew, I mean, it was clear, kind of. You could tell that he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like I said, we didn't know how mentally stable he was.
Sure. And you said that you and Spencer just kind of tried to talk him down and
Yeah.
talk him
because
out of it, and
we're a nonviolent organization.
right.
We're not promoting any of that.
Okay. Now, does Spencer know Aja in real life? Do you know that?
I don't know.
You mentioned when you first said it, you said kill his grandparents, and then you said to take over the house. Did he talk about that part at all? Like, what was the
He wanted to
goal?
turn it into a compound for him and his wife, fiance, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else did he share about the
That's-
goal or the plan or anything?
I had hopped on the server briefly for a moment when I had heard that, so I don't know the full conversation.
Okay. Obviously we're here just because we kind of got wind of this conversation and this planning and stuff like that. And so I just want to talk to you about where you were a couple of specific days.
Okay.
And do you have anything you want to do before I hit this point?
No, before you hit that, nope.
Okay, so and I'm going to pull up a calendar to make sure that I'm doing this right. So you said that you blocked him on the 15th from everything.
Yes.
Do you know what time that happened at?
I don't specifically know.
Morning, afternoon, evening?
I know it was evening.
Evening time. So evening on the 15th, you blocked Aja from the Discord server, and you said from Facebook as well.
Yes.
Okay, but you had not actually ever messaged with him on Facebook.
I think I messaged him once because I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Okay, when was that?
It was before the 15th. I know that.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out what more he was like, trying to figure out who he was, but it was.
So on the 15th, you blocked him. After the 15th, did you have any more conversation with Aja at all on Discord or any other way?
No.
Okay, so after the 15th, no contact with Aja, Discord, Facebook Messenger, phone calls, nothing, telepathy? No, nothing?
If I could do telepathy, that'd be fantastic.
Okay, so nothing after the evening of the 15th.
No.
So on the 16th is a Saturday, and I know that I'm talking about, you said that your kid was born on the 22nd, right, a week ago?
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about a week before that, the 16th is a Saturday. Do you remember where you were or what you did on Saturday?
I was at home sleeping most of the day.
Okay,
I was in Fife that night though. I do have a receipt, a debit card swipe, and you can find me on CCTV for the Tahoma that's in Fife.
for the what?
The Tahoma gas station that's in Fife. It's a 76 gas station.
Is that the tribal gas station
Yes.
that's on Old 99
Yep.
there with the less expensive gas?
Oh yeah, $1.99. Whew.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay, so you were home sleeping, and you said you slept most of the day. So when did you wake up?
I woke up 11:30
11:30 in the morning,
p.m.
p.m., 11:30 at night. You slept the whole day?
Pretty much, yes. I was at home pretty much all day sleeping.
Okay. So let me ask you this. You mentioned going to Fife for gas. When was that? When did you go to that gas station?
It was about 12:30 to 1, I think, when I bought gas.
And that's the next morning.
Yes.
So that's the 17th Sunday?
Yes.
So between 12:30 and 1 a.m., you get gas at that gas station?
Yes.
Okay, so home sleeping all day. Other than, well, did you leave the house at all on Saturday the 16th?
No, I was at home
Okay.
until about 11:30 at night. I don't know if it was. I have to look at my pay stubs.
It doesn't have to be exact.
But I was at home all day until I went to go see Spencer.
Okay. So, and you said you have to look at your pay stubs. What would that?
I don't specifically know what time I swiped my card because I was in Fife.
Oh, debit card receipt, not
Yeah.
pay stubs. Gotcha.
Sorry.
What would your
My-
pay stubs tell you?
My apologies.
Okay. So you wake up around 11:30 or so at night. You go to Fife, and is that where Spencer lives?
Yes.
Do you know his address by chance?
Not off the top of my head.
Ish. Do you know where it is?
Fife Heights.
In Fife Heights area. Okay. And so, do you get that gas before you get to Spencer's house or after? Or
It was after.
okay, so you go to Spencer.
Me and Spencer were going out for a drive. We were talking about various things.
Okay, so you get to Fife Heights and you pick up Spencer. Is that right, or did you guys go in his car?
We went in my car. It was the Toyota 4Runner.
Okay. So you get in your car, Spencer gets in your car, and you guys go to this gas station. You think you're there between 12:30 and 1, and then you said you went for a drive. Where did you guys go?
We drove around Tacoma for a bit. We were talking about what was it? It was plans for my wedding and stuff about video games, what's going on in our lives.
Sure.
We hadn't seen each other for a while, so.
Okay. What kind of plans did you come up with for your wedding?
Well, I'm planning on having my wedding on October 31st of this year. So,
And hoping that you'll actually get to have it.
yeah.
I have a rescheduled wedding from this summer that I cannot have because of everything that's going on, so I definitely feel you. It's, that sucks to try to be planning that right now.
Yeah.
So you just don't know.
Yeah.
And you don't want to pay anybody because are you going to get money back from vendors? Or are you not? Like, what? It's a big
Well,
gamble.
currently we have all of our decorations, our Halloween decorations, most of them bought.
Nice.
And we were thinking about having it at the Lackamas Community Center
Nice. That would be really cool.
because it's right there.
My dad and stepmom actually got married on Halloween. And they got married in Voodoo Donuts down in Portland, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so you said you drove around Tacoma for a bit. Where in Tacoma did you guys go?
It was primarily around Marine View Drive
Okay.
and the Fife area. It was right around there.
Okay.
We did take I-5 down to Tacoma and then come back up.
I-5 to Tacoma and back up. And then when you say for a bit, like how long were you guys driving around for?
I think I got back to we got back to his place for around 7 a.m.
Okay.
We got breakfast and shit.
So to Spencer's at 7. Where did you get breakfast at?
The McDonald's there in Fife.
Alright, so breakfast at McDonald's. Like, do you know what time-ish that was?
6:30, 7 o'clock.
So right before?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I just want to make sure that I have it all right. After you leave that gas station in Fife, you guys drive around Tacoma, mostly around Marine View Drive, go down I-5 to Tacoma, go back up. You hit that McDonald's in Fife around 6:30 to 7, and then back to Spencer's place. And do you stay with Spencer or drop them off?
I dropped him off and went back home.
Okay. When you came and picked him up, and then when you dropped him off, did you ever go inside at all?
No, I never went inside his house.
Okay, stayed in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have your cell phone with you?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anywhere else that you guys stopped overnight? And we're talking about, this is now from the 16th, we're talking about very early in the morning on the 17th, the Sunday.
We were driving around. We parked in various parking lots talking about stuff. We were looking on our phones. I mean, we sat in a parking lot of Albertsons.
Do you remember where?
I don't remember if it was an Albertsons or a Safeway or it was a grocery store.
Any idea like where-ish the grocery store was?
It was right next to the McDonald's there in Fife.
So in Fife.
Mhm.
And when were you guys sitting there? What times?
I don't know. We were looking at venues.
At wedding venues? Oh, where else did you guys check out?
It was, we were just looking because I didn't know whether or not I was wanting it at Lackamas because Lackamas is cheap.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. Okay. So didn't go anywhere else. That's where you were. And then what about on the 17th? So after you dropped Spencer off, you said around 7. Where do you go now?
Went back home, went
Okay.
back to sleep.
Okay. Back to Roy and back to sleep. And did you leave at all again on the 17th?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Did you talk to Spencer at all anymore on the 17th after you dropped him off?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay. So we have your phone records, phone
Okay.
location records from the night of the 16th to the 17th. And we watch your phone from down in Roy come up to Fife, which is what you said happened. And we see another phone join your phone. And we see both of those phones
Okay.
bounce over the Narrows Bridge. And do you know where they go from there?
Devon,
Okay, they go to Vaughn. And how long are they in Vaughn for?
five, 6 hours?
Okay. So, do you want to try again and tell me what happened overnight that night?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start over. Fresh start?
Sure.
Okay. So, walk me through it.
Okay.
And you can chew, it's okay.
And dry.
I did say that I put it in
No,
here
you're
last
good.
week,
You're
but
good.
I don't promise how long it's existed.
Okay. So about 12:31, I pick up Spencer. I did buy gas.
Okay,
Okay. Osgood had said that he was trying to get away from his parents, his grandparents. Do I know who he is? No, I really don't know who he is.
okay,
Okay, I'm strictly going based off of Spencer. I'm trying to help Spencer out.
okay.
He's distressed,
Spencer is distressed,
was distressed.
okay,
Like I said, yes, from what we understood, we didn't know if he was being abused or not. So we went to go pick him up.
to pick Asha
Yes.
up, okay?
Okay. At about oh, 2:30, you'll see that my phone went to the Vaughn Cemetery
Okay,
and sat there until 4:30.
okay,
About 4:30, we went over to his house to try and get him out of the house. At my house, in the 2013 Dodge Avenger, in the driver's side,
mm-hmm,
there's a 7.5-inch Bowie knife, or a K-bar. In the back seat, there's about a 5-inch saw knife. In the downstairs bedroom, at the end of the hallway, it's not the first door on the right, it's the second door on the right at the end of the hallway. There's a black bag sitting at the bottom on the floor. It has his grandparents' blood. I didn't go there wanting to help murder anybody.
okay,
What happened was that we went back in to go help. Me and Spencer were going to help him move some stuff to get it put in my 4Runner. But we were going to set it outside first before pulling the car up because my car is noisy.
okay,
We were trying to do it quietly so that we weren't going to wake his grandparents up.
mm-hmm,
At that moment, he had taken my knife, the 7.5-inch Bowie knife, from me.
who did?
Asha.
How?
He's bigger than me. He's about 6'2".
Okay,
It's the first time I ever saw him.
okay,
Okay, he is bigger than me. I'm lightweight.
okay,
Okay, I didn't know what was going on. But the next thing I know is that his grandma is sitting in her bed and she's dead. And then he ran upstairs and stabbed his granddad.
okay,
It went through his left side of his chest.
Okay. Then what?
From then, I didn't know whether or not his grandmother was dead or not.
Okay.
I kneeled in the bed, which is where the blood got on my pant leg. There are boots also in the bedroom where the baby was. They have blood on them. I freaked out because I have a kid on the way. I don't want this shit to go sideways. It's already going sideways. So,
Sure.
We left his house at about 5:30.
Okay.
I then drove Spencer home,
Mm-hmm.
and I drove myself back home,
Okay.
and we took the long way around.
What's the long way?
We went down to Olympia,
Why did you go that way?
not to pay the toll bridge.
Why?
Whose idea was that?
Spencer's,
So,
because we were already, like I said, he's not mentally.
so I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to you said that your phone gets to the Vaughn Cemetery at like 2:30,
Yes.
and that the plan was to go up and help Aja get stuff out of the house so that you could get it in your car because your car's noisy.
Yeah, we didn't want to wake up his neighbors or wake up his grandparents.
So sorry, go ahead.
We were gonna get all his stuff inside into the yard and then back up, throw everything in, and leave.
So what time did you guys move up to the house? You said at like 4:30.
Between 4 and 4:30.
Why, if you got there at 2:30, did you wait until 4 or 4:30?
Waiting for his grandparents to go to bed.
Okay. And so, how do you know when to come up?
We had about 4 o'clock. Me and Spencer walked up down the street to his house, his grandparents' house.
Mm-hmm.
We got about up to the back porch,
Okay.
and he came out slowly and quietly with everything off. We didn't know what was going on. And then he told us to come inside, and once I got through the door, I had my knife on my back belt.
In like a sheath?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what happened?
He yanks it and goes upstairs.
How was he able to get the knife off of you? Because
I don't keep it buttoned.
okay. Did you try to stop him from taking it?
He's bigger than me, and then he had a big ass knife.
Okay. So he takes the knife, and then when you talked me through it the first time, you said the next thing you know that you guys are in his grandma's room. So how did you
I
end
walked
up
in the
there?
room
So is that where
from the back porch. From what I remember of the house, from the back porch, you walk in and you turn right in the kitchen, and there's a door into a room. That's the room that I found his grandma in.
Was he in there? Were you in there at the same time as him? Were you
In the
there
house?
in the grandma's room? Were you in there when she got killed?
No.
Okay. So he takes the knife.
No, her blood was already everywhere.
Okay, so he takes the knife, and the first place he goes is to grandma's room.
He went into the grandmother's room and then ran up the stairs.
So he goes into grandma's room. How long is he in there?
In the grandmother's room or upstairs?
In your grandma's room.
He was in the grandmother's room for about less than a second. He went through the grandmother's room up the stairs.
So I am not understanding something. So he takes your knife and he's in the grandmother's room for less than a second, but now her blood's everywhere. I'm confused.
When we got there, she was already dead.
Okay.
Or dying. There was blood everywhere.
Okay.
She had 2 puncture wounds.
Okay.
He had entered, as soon as he pulled my knife, he went through the door and he went up the stairs and then I heard the struggle upstairs.
What did you hear?
Grunting, stomping, and then it stopped.
And where were you when you heard that?
In the grandmother's room.
Where was Spencer?
Grandmother's room.
Okay. Was Spencer with you the whole time?
No.
Okay. So talk me through that part. When were you and Spencer in different places?
Me and Spencer were in different places when I went to go smoke.
Okay. So you hear the grunting upstairs. How long is Aja upstairs for?
About a minute, about 60 seconds.
Okay, and then what's the very next thing that happens?
He comes back downstairs and hands me my knife covered in blood.
Okay, what did you do?
I had just heard him murder his grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
He currently was in shock.
Sure.
I was now in the middle of a murder scene with my best friend and a person I don't know.
So what'd you do?
I tried to clean my knife off as best as I could and I had blood all over my pants, so I took a pair of his pants.
Okay. What the pants that you took of his? What did those look like?
They were tan. They were in the bag in the basement.
Okay. So you took the knife back from him?
Yes.
You put it. How did you try to clean it off?
Bleach.
How was there bleach? Where did that come from?
My house.
Okay, so you take the knife back from him, and then what do you do with the knife immediately after you get it back from Asha?
I cleaned it off with Lysol disinfectant wipes.
Okay. Did you put it back in the sheath?
Yes.
Okay. So you put the knife back in the sheath, and is Spencer with you at that point? And is Aja standing right there as well?
Yes.
What's the very next thing that happens?
He it's all a blur. It was early in the morning. He went upstairs and started smoking.
He or they?
I don't know if Spencer did or not. I went out the back porch and smoked a cigarette.
Okay. And Spencer did not come with you to the back porch? So you smoke a cigarette, you're not sure where Spencer is, and Aja's gone upstairs. What's the very next thing that happens?
I took a pair of his pants and took my pants and we left.
Okay. Did you go up
We
to
were there about 30 minutes.
in the house for about 30 minutes? Did you go upstairs to get those pants from him?
Yes.
Okay, so up to his bedroom? Okay. Before leaving, did you guys do anything else?
I was trying to clean the blood off of my knife and my hands because I now had it on my hands.
And you mentioned earlier that you got on the bed with his grandma and that's how blood got on your pants. When did that happen?
About 4:30, 4:34.
When in the sequence of events, I'm sorry, when in the sequence of all of this did that happen?
When he was struggling upstairs with his grandfather.
Okay, and so you get on the bed with her and you kind of motion to, I think, the right side of your neck. You said she had 2 puncture wounds on her neck. How was she, like, positioned? How was her body? And, like, what was she on, a chair? A bed?
She's, I don't know if it's like a twin size bed.
Uh-huh.
She was up against the wall with a pillow, a bloody pillow over her head, and I could see the 2 puncture wounds.
And so what did you do when you got in that bed?
I didn't know if her heart was still beating or whether she was still breathing.
Okay.
There was blood everywhere.
So what did you do?
I kneeled on the bed.
Can I ask you a question? How could you see the blood? Were the lights on in the house?
The light, there was only one light on in the house at that moment.
And where was that light in the house compared to the room she was in?
There was a lamp right next to her bed.
So it was a light in that room?
Yes.
Okay.
So you kneel on the bed, and what did you do?
I had touched the left side of her neck, trying to feel for a pulse.
Did you feel one?
No,
What if you had felt one?
I don't know.
Okay. So you guys smoke, you change your pants, and then you guys leave. Do you guys do anything else before you leave? Clean up anything else? Wipe down anything else?
I had tried wiping my fingerprints from the railing going upstairs
Okay.
with a Lysol disinfectant wipe,
Okay.
and I wiped off the knife.
Okay. How come when you left, you did not call 911?
I had currently just been the witness of a murder, and my own knife was used in it,
Okay.
and I had blood.
So,
Currently, everything that was going through my mind was, I'm going to jail for murder.
okay. Go ahead.
Sean, I appreciate you being honest with us and helping us out. Okay? I think there are some things though that you're leaving out. And you said how you never had any contact with Aja. And you said your username is the name is Graham.
Yes, I had contact with him on that day.
Okay.
So
Tell us
for
about
that.
that contact. But let me, maybe I can just read a few things here because
Yeah, go
these
ahead.
are some things off of the Discord server.
Okay.
Okay, where the name is Graham, is talking to Aja. And on the morning of the 17th at 3:11 a.m.
I had told him I was the point of contact from then on.
Okay, go ahead.
That's because Spencer's phone was left inside the car.
Okay.
Okay,
So Spencer's phone, you will see, it never leaves the cemetery. It stays inside the cemetery.
Okay.
My phone had the best reception, so I called Aja, or messaged Aja, saying that he was to text me from then on.
Okay.
That was the time that we had left to walk up to the house. Yes, to walk up to the house.
Okay.
About 20, 30 minutes later, I had sent another message asking him what's going on and what was up. And then he let us through the door.
what were you the point of contact for?
Because we were trying to wait for his grandparents to go to sleep. From our standpoint, he was trying to go get his grandparents to go to sleep so that we could get him out of the house quietly.
So,
Was it for anything else?
No.
Okay. It's imperative that you're honest with us. Okay, we've done an extensive investigation. Okay,
Well, obviously, it's been 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
we've
almost.
been doing some other interviews.
Okay.
Okay,
we've pulled a whole lot of stuff from the Discord server.
okay. one of the people we interviewed yesterday? Take a guess.
Spencer?
Yes.
Okay.
What does Spencer will tell us happened?
You probably started off saying what I had originally said.
Why is that? Why would he say that?
Because he sent me the news article saying that the house had blown up, that it was on fire. And we saw that I don't even know what his name is. All I know is off.
Did you and Spencer talk about coming up with an alibi or an excuse as to where you were?
Yes.
And what was your excuse?
We were at home, and that we had blocked him.
And how long did you guys discuss those plans to come up with your excuse or alibi?
About an hour that day.
The day after everything happened?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think Spencer told us happened in the house?
I don't know.
Okay. I will tell you it was much more detailed than what you've told us.
Okay.
So what we'd like you to do is fill in those gaps, fill in the details.
Which details would you like?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
So can we go back to, let's even back up a little bit more, because initially you said you stopped contact with Asha on the 15th, and we know that that didn't happen. We know that there was a plan.
You've pulled the Discord servers.
We have pulled the Discord servers, we've pulled all of it. We know that there was a plan. We know that the plan was discussed before you guys went over there. So talk me through all of it. Talk me through even leading up to that. Tell me about Plan F. Tell me about all of it.
I was against the whole plan of them doing that thing. I was stupid as fuck.
Of them doing what?
Of Asha wanting to off his grandparents.
Okay.
Because I knew this shit would happen.
Okay. So before you and Spencer go over there that night, what was the discussion between the three of you about what was going to happen? What was the plan?
It was supposed to be quiet. Nothing was supposed to happen. And then he was...
Yep.
He was supposed to be the cleanup, basically. He was going to do everything.
Who was?
Asha.
Okay.
After his grandparents were done in, there was a tarp that was cut up, and we helped move. Me and Spencer had helped move both his grandparents downstairs.
Okay. You said earlier that Joanna was dead when you got there. Was Joanna dead when you got
No.
there? Okay. So you park at the Vaughn Cemetery.
Mm.
Okay. And you guys are messaging back and forth about
Yes.
how to get into the house. Who was supposed to do what when you got into the house?
I was supposed to deal with it,
You were supposed to deal with him, and what do you mean by that?
remove him.
Murder him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How were you planning on doing that?
Just a 7-inch knife.
Okay. And what was Spencer supposed to do?
Take out Joanna.
Murder her?
Mm-hmm.
And how? You pointed to your neck twice. Like,
The 2 puncture wounds in her neck
And that-
towards the carotid artery.
that was the plan.
Yes.
What knife was used for that?
And a saw knife.
Was that the shorter one that you
Yes.
described? Okay.
Her windpipe was also crushed.
Okay.
That would be Aja.
Okay. And what was Aja supposed to do in the plan?
Aja was supposed to help with cleanup and removal.
Okay. So let's back up again until you guys are walking in the house.
Mhm.
Okay. So you guys get in the house. Aja lets you in that back door. Where do you go?
I stayed behind Aja.
Okay. Where does he go?
He went into Joanna's room.
Okay. So he goes into Joanna's room and the door creaks. And what happens?
She started to wake up. Aja jumped on top of her.
And what did he do when he jumped on top of her?
He held down her legs with one arm, put his weight on her stomach area to stop her from moving, and clamped over her throat.
Okay. And when you say climbed over her throat, like what was he doing?
He had constricted her throat, crushed it.
Like strangled her?
Yes.
Okay. Was she screaming or able to?
She couldn't scream.
Okay. What were you doing while Aja was doing that?
I had gone over because it was unexpected and punctured her twice.
You did that
Yes.
with that little knife?
Yes.
And you said it was unexpected. What was unexpected?
Her to wake up.
Okay. So you guys were expecting it to be easier than that?
Yes. Is Spencer in jail right now?
Yes.
Okay.
So you puncture her neck twice.
Yes.
What happens?
She gargled for a bit. We were sitting in that room for about 20 minutes.
For 20 minutes?
Mhm.
While she was dying?
Yes.
Was she saying anything?
She was gargling.
Were her eyes open?
Not that I could tell. It was dark the entire time in the room.
Was Spencer in there too?
Yes.
What did Spencer do?
Still there.
Okay. What happened next?
Aja went upstairs. I followed Aja. We went into his grandfather's room, and I put the knife in his left side of his chest, closer to the heart.
Which knife?
The 7.5-inch bowie knife, or K-bar.
The K-bar. And that's a different knife from Joanna's
Yes.
knife. Okay.
They are both currently sitting in the 2013 Dodge Adventure.
Okay. So you stab Ted. Does he wake up when you guys come into the room?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me that part. So you guys open the door and what happens?
There was a struggle.
Describe it to me.
He had removed my glasses off of my face.
Does he get all the way up out of bed?
No.
Okay.
He never made it out of the bed.
Okay. So who goes in the room first? You or Aja?
It was me.
Okay. So you go in the room first. He's starting to get up out of bed, and what do you do?
I had put my hand on his chest, put him back in the bed. Spencer was behind me, helped me keep him in the bed, and to try and stop him from flailing.
Okay. So your glasses get knocked off. Do you already have the knife in your hand, or is
Yes.
it in the... Okay. And then what happens?
We struggled for a bit. He had hit me. I then got a clean hit through the left side of his chest cavity.
Okay. How many times did you stab him?
I stabbed him once.
Okay. Did anybody else stab him?
I don't know. There were so many hands being thrown around.
Between you and Spencer and Aja?
And his grandfather.
And were all three of you up there?
I don't know if Aja was in the room or not
Okay.
at that moment.
But you and Spencer were up there?
Yes.
And Spencer helped you hold him down?
Yes. Spencer had that, at that moment, had the small knife.
Okay. Spencer had the small knife, but you don't know if Spencer
don't.
used it?
I don't know if Spencer used that knife or if Aja had another knife.
You said that you stabbed Ted just one time, and you said the left side of his chest.
Yes.
If he had other injuries on his torso or chest, would those be from you, or yours was only the one on
Mine was only the big
the left side?
right here.
Okay. Then what happens?
I had blood on my legs from Joanna. I got an extra pair of pants from Aja because he seemed to be the same waist size. Aja drove me over to the car. I got my cigarettes out of the car. We drove back.
Okay.
I had a cigarette out the back porch while him and Spencer were upstairs.
Okay. What happens next?
That's when I started cleaning everything that I could.
Okay. You mentioned a tarp earlier, and you said the tarp got cut up. Where did the tarp come from?
Me.
Okay. And did you bring it with you that night?
Yes.
Did you buy it specifically for this?
No.
Okay. Was it already at your house?
No.
Where did you get it?
Walmart.
When?
Month and a half ago.
But you didn't buy it for this?
No, I was using it for other things I was going to.
Okay. So the tarp gets cut up. Spencer and Aja have smoked upstairs. You smoked a cigarette on the back porch. And then you said you start to clean up. So walk me through step by step what happens.
I took the Lysol wipes, wiped off the front of my jacket. I wiped off the knife, the sheath, the railings, my glasses.
What were Spencer and Aja doing?
I don't know what they were doing. All I know was what I was doing at that moment.
Were they helping you wipe things down, or you don't know?
No.
Okay. So what happens next? So you're wiping stuff down, and then what's the next thing?
We had I had cut the tarp in half. We got his grandfather moved downstairs, and his grandmother moved downstairs into the basement next to the laundry machines.
So you cut the tarp in half, and then who moves Joanna onto the tarp?
Me and Spencer, I think. Yes.
And who carries her down into the
Me
basement?
and Spencer.
And then what about Ted? Who
Me and
moves
Spencer.
both? Did Aja help you at all?
Aja helped me move Ted onto the tarp.
Do you know Aja's real name?
No, I don't.
Okay. After they are moved down onto the tarp, what happens next?
We move him downstairs, and then we plan on leaving.
Okay. And then what?
We left.
Okay.
Then about the next day or two, no, just the day after that, Spencer had called me saying that Aja was arrested in Lakewood.
Okay.
And then about Friday last week, I saw on a news article that him and his fiancée were being prosecuted.
Okay. What was the plan after they were murdered?
He was going to try and pretend they were still alive. I don't know.
What was he going to do with the house?
I don't know. All I know is that from what I read on the news article was that it engulfed in flames.
Why did you do this?
I don't know.
What?
I was trying to help Spencer out and keep him out of trouble. And instead, I got us in even more trouble.
You guys went over there, obviously, with tarps and with the knives, intending to kill Ezra's grandparents.
That's his name?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know his grandparents' name?
Ted and Joanna?
Yes.
I don't know their last names.
Yes.
So you guys went over there intending to kill them. You brought a tarp, you brought the knives, you brought all of it. It's hard for me to believe that you really think you were trying to keep Spencer out of trouble. I'm just trying to understand what your motivation was or what was in this for you.
Nothing.
Did you just want to kill someone?
No. Honestly, I really wanted to help keep Spencer out of trouble.
You talked about Joanna's windpipe getting crushed, and you said that Asha did that. Who did that?
Me.
Okay,
I was trying to keep her from struggling.
so
He was on top of her. He had his hand clamped on her mouth.
okay, so he has his hand on her mouth and he's shushing her. Shh, 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 right? And what are you doing?
Holding down her neck.
Show me how.
I had my hands wrapped around her neck.
Okay. How long?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yes.
And she was still.
Her heart was still beating.
How do you know?
I could feel it.
Through her neck?
Yes. I can distinctly remember it.
And then what? So 20 minutes of that, and then
2 puncture wounds.
and
And then upstairs we went.
and I'm sorry. Tell me again. Who did the 2 puncture wounds?
Same.
You. Okay. With the smaller knife, and then upstairs.
Did you ever try to break her neck?
Yes.
How?
I climbed her up and got her in a neck hold and then went up and to the right.
So were you behind her when you were doing
Yes.
that? Where'd you learn to do that?
Nowhere. It's stupid. It's stuff you see in stupid ass movies.
When you stabbed her in the neck, where were you in relation to her body?
I was to her right side.
Were you?
I was kneeling in the bed.
So you were kneeling on her right side, and is she laying down?
I wasn't kneeling on her. I was kneeling on the bed.
So you're kneeling on the bed on her right side,
Yes.
and she's laying on her back.
Yes.
What were her arms free where she was able to try to get a hold of you at all? Or
She was.
that's her. I'm sorry.
She was limp.
No, during the initial portions of the
Oh, I
strike.
never saw her hands. It was dark. The house was entirely dark.
Was the plan to have Spencer strangle her?
I think so. I think that was the original plan.
What happened?
She woke up. I was behind Tasha when he opened the door.
So it wasn't like Spencer backed out ahead of time. It was at the moment the door opened because she woke up, you went in and did it.
And I didn't want him to do any of it.
Before that point, had Spencer said anything about I'm not going to do it or I don't want to go through with it or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Where's the black jacket that you were wearing that night?
The black jacket is currently sitting on the foot of the bed downstairs in my bedroom.
Okay. Where's the balaclava that you were wearing that night?
Balaclava
Yeah.
in my laundry somewhere.
Okay. Do you own more than one black
Nope.
balaclava? Okay. You were wearing a black balaclava. Was Spencer wearing one?
No.
Okay. Was there a plan to burn the house down or torch the house?
No. Not originally.
Not originally. Did you ever hear about a plan to burn the house down?
No. The only time I figured out that the house was burnt was when I saw the photos.
Who's Monkey Bone?
I don't know.
Is someone on the Riptide Surfer?
It's not somebody that I'm affiliated with. I don't know them.
You don't know that person at all? Okay. Do you know someone named Joey?
Spencer's talked about him a couple times.
Okay. Was Joey ever involved in planning meetings with you when you were there? Okay. How long have you guys been planning this? Keeping in mind that we have pulled all this stuff from Discord and that we got it preserved before you guys deleted it.
Month and a half?
About 6 weeks.
Yeah. Month and a half to 2 months.
And you don't believe in the ideals that they're talking about in the manifesto? That's not your thing? I'm just trying to figure out why. I'm trying to wrap my head around
It's
why.
really on keeping Spencer safe.
Did you ever try to talk Spencer out of it?
Yes.
What was his response to that?
He never came up with a straight answer.
Did Spencer ever try to talk you out of it?
No.
Did either one of you ever try to talk Asha,
Yes.
aka Ezra, out of it? How did you do that?
I did it through voice communication over Discord.
If you wanted to stop him, why wouldn't you guys just not go over there? Like, if you don't want to call the police, right, and you don't want to turn someone in, why do you still go over there? That doesn't seem to me like somebody that had any intention of trying to stop it.
Have you told anybody about what happened?
No.
Does your girlfriend know?
My fiance knows that I went out there. She doesn't know what happened.
When you say she knows you went out there, out where?
Vaughn,
What, I guess, what does she know that you told her?
that I was helping him move. That's what her and my parents know.
Did she know anything from the news or any other source, whether it's you or anybody else, that people were killed?
Is that no? She didn't
No.
know that, or they haven't put that together that that's in the news and that's where you were.
It's the whole incident never actually hit the news. It's hit small news articles.
So, if you had like a laundry basket or something, would it be in the bedroom or like the lower living room of the house?
It would be in the laundry somewhere. I don't know.
Or did you have a hamper?
Yeah.
It
We
was-
have like 3 hampers.
Where are the hampers located?
There's 2 in the bedroom.
Is that your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all upstairs.
And then where's the third hamper? We're trying not to tear your house up too much.
No, I understand. It's somewhere in the white hamper that's in the front as soon as you enter the bedroom, or it should be in that first hamper. It's in one of the 3 hampers. The other one should be in the living room. I don't.
And it's all downstairs.
Yes, it's all downstairs.
So the balaclava, the jacket, the pants, the boots,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 knives. What?
And then the extra pants that you got from
It's in the bag.
same bag that
Same
the
bag.
bloody pants are in.
Did you wash any of those bloody clothes?
I had thrown cat food on.
Is that still in the bag?
No.
And you drove the
400.
4Runner, but the knives are now in the
During the Avenger. Yes.
Avenger. When did that happen?
I don't know. I carry my knives on me most of the time.
Okay, so you drive both those cars, and so they're in that other car now.
Both of the cars are in my name.
Okay. Is there a PIN code for your phone?
No.
Okay.
Is it just wide open?
Swipe it.
Other than your phone, what devices did you use to communicate on Discord or any other app? Messenger or whatever. Do you have a laptop?
My computer, but it was all through voice communication.
Okay.
All the texts happened through Discord.
Is it a,
But is that on your phone? It was Discord done on your phone or your computer?
I have Discord on my phone and my computer.
On your computer.
is it a desktop or a laptop?
It's a desktop.
And where is it?
It's in the game room.
And that's upstairs, or on the main?
It's in the main floor. It's in the back left.
Is there more than one computer in there?
No.
Okay. What kind of username and password do we need for that computer?
The first initial barrier is the BIOS settings. It's
Okay.
my Microsoft PIN code.
Okay. Spencer talked about like a document that he had made that you guys were going to give to the police in the event that you were contacted. Do you have a copy of that? Did he ever share it with you?
Not that I know of.
Okay. How much talking did you and Spencer do after the murders about what you were going to tell the police, or?
Not very much.
Did you know that Spencer was arrested yesterday?
No.
Did you expect us to come?
Eventually.
What were you going to tell us?
What I explained first.
Do you think Joanna suffered?
I don't know.
What about Ted?
Not for very long. Brain function ceases with too much blood loss.
When you had your hands around Joanna's throat for 20 minutes, what were you thinking?
I'm fucked.
Why didn't you stop?
I don't know.
Did it bring you some kind of joy or
No.
pleasure? A sense of power?
What was Aja, or Ezra as we know him, saying to Joanna?
At that moment,
While she was being killed?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I was feeling for a heartbeat.
And by feeling for a heartbeat, you mean while strangling her, not checking her pulse.
Yes.
Were you straddling her over the top of her?
No.
Kneeling on the
I
side?
was kneeling on the side. The pants have blood on their right knee. I had my right knee on the bed.
So, so Joanna's laying down on her back, and you're kneeling on her right-hand side. And so if she's laying, let's say this way, so her head's up here, you're kneeling on this side.
I had my knee on the bed,
Okay.
and I was over her. Aja had his hand over her and her legs.
Okay.
Where was he? Was he standing or on top of her?
He was, I don't really know, it was dark.
And then if you'll go back like that one more time, show me, so she's down like that, you're on top of her. How do you get her up and do the move to try to break her neck?
I just pivoted her around,
Okay. And then what?
and then I had just moved her around and went for it.
Okay. Did her neck?
I don't know.
Okay.
I heard it crack. Do I know if it broke? No.
And then what happens to her next? Do you lay her back
I
down?
laid her back.
And how do you stab her? Show me that.
I had just taken my knife, and while I had my hand over her face, I had taken the knife and put it up next to her carotid artery. From what I could understand, was her carotid artery.
You're showing me with your left
Yes,
hand, you took the knife, and are you left or right-handed?
I am right-handed.
But you did that with your left
Yes.
hand. And let's do this the same thing for Ted. So we get upstairs, Ted wakes up, he starts to sit up.
Mm-hmm.
And do you go straight for him with the knife?
I had went to push him back down. I know Spencer was behind me and Aja was behind him. Do I know where they were specifically? No, I was keeping him to her.
Okay. And then how did you stab him?
It was one overhand
Into the left side of his chest?
in the left side of his chest. I was trying to make it as quick and painless as possible.
For him, but not for Joanna?
I didn't want it to drag out as long as it did. I didn't want to do it originally.
What did Aja say that convinced you? Or what did Spencer say if you were doing it for Spencer? What did either of them say that convinced you that, yes, I'm in on this plan, I'm going to go to this house, and I'm going to murder these people that I've never met?
I wasn't planning on murdering him. My whole goal was to try and keep Spencer from doing anything he would regret, and obviously we're regretting it.
But you said that when you went there, the plan was for you to take care of Ted. That was the plan,
Yes.
right? So you can't say you weren't.
On paper, yes, I was in on it, yes.
Okay.
In my own internal conflictions, no.
But in your actions, yes.
Yes.
Brought the tarp, brought the knives.
Sean, is there anything that you've left out detail-wise? Obviously, you've been extremely forthcoming once you were confronted with evidence and facts that we know. Is there anything that you've left out, whether it's something that you've done, something that Spencer did, or Ezra, aka Aja?
From what I understand, he went to his fiance's house afterwards, after he burned the place down.
Okay, and we know that.
How did you know that?
Spencer.
Is there anybody else involved in this?
No, not that I know of. Just the three of us. We were the only ones here.
Was his wife or fiance involved in the planning at all that you know of?
On my side of things, and from what I knew, no, I don't.
Okay. Never on any of those conversations?
No.
Was she on the riptide? Excuse me.
Not that I know of.
I think we're good.
I gotta ask you a couple questions before I can turn off the recording.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Anything else that you want to add before I turn off the audio recording?
No.
Okay. Obviously, this question has a caveat. At the beginning, I know you weren't totally honest with us, but the version that we got to at the end.
The end is the full truth.
The truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Did we threaten you at all to get you to come talk to us today?
No.
Did we make any promises to get you to come talk to us today? All right, this is Detective Moss. I'm ending this interview at 8:54 hours. It is still May 29th, 2020.
Because of the length of these interrogations, I've split this video up into manageable chunks. But don't worry, I'll be putting it all up in daily installments. So, tune back in tomorrow for the next part.